Hello, I'm Heather from Woolly Elephant. I thought, while I've got a bit of time this afternoon, I'd just do a quick update of some of the things that I've been doing if you're interested. While we're in this lockdown, there's plenty of time on our hands to do lots of things. Not being able to get together with Nicola to podcast. We tried doing it last week using the TV, but Nikki's voice was very quiet. Anyway, and I've done a couple little videos on Instagram TV lately, so I thought I'd do another one and put it on YouTube as well. So I've been keeping quite busy. I've just finished watching today The Stranger on Netflix. Don't know if anybody else has been watching that, but it was a lot better than I expected, by a novel, I think, by Harlan Coben. I shan't tell anything about it in case you haven't watched it, but if you haven't and you like a bit of a mystery, I suggest watching that. I was kind of on the edge of my seat. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would, because at the beginning you wonder what's going on, and yeah, it definitely grabs you and sucks you in. So I'd give that a go if you're looking for something new to watch on the TV. Anyway, I've been picked up a bit of crochet recently. You've seen it, I've been doing a corner to corner blanket, but I haven't put anything on that in the last few days. But I did bought this a few days ago. I had been watching on the Fruity Knitting podcast when she'd interviewed the lady that runs Toft, and she'd sat and crocheted herself. Her and her husband had done a duck and the flamingo. She must have done them in an iron or a worsted weight because they were quite big. When I saw those, I thought I quite fancy having a go at those. So I ordered the book, which off Amazon, which actually came quite quick, and it's all these different birds. There's the flamingo and the duck. She'd done a white duck. I think there's a mallard in here, but she'd just done it in white. I think that's this one here. I think she'd just done it in white with yellow legs, and it looked quite good. Anyway, I was having a look after doing that, after looking through my yarn. I haven't got any yarn to do it with, believe it or not. Given practically all my acrylic stash away recently, all the different colours I had. I mean, these are done in top yarns, but top yarns are quite expensive, and with money being a little bit tighter at the moment, I didn't want to order any in, but I thought I'd have a go. I wanted to have a go anyway, so I have got some Toft DK in the dark grey and the light grey, so I thought I'd have a go at this little guy. He's a canary, and he's only in 2 colours, so I thought I'd just have a practice first at doing him in the greys to see how it's coming out. No, I haven't finished him yet, but I have made a start. This is his body, and I'm about halfway up his head, because I have the grey, the dark grey and the light grey. I used to sell these years ago, and I had quite a few left when I closed the shop. So I'm doing it to on the needle that it says to 3mm crochet hook, and having a go at that. I was actually doing it. Oh, excuse me, got my crochet hook. I was doing it the other day while I was walking up and down my living room. I was looking for something to do while I was walking up and down, trying to get a bit of exercise without going out. I find, I don't know if anybody else does, but when I'm sat for long periods of time, because obviously doing all this crafting, you sat down a lot. So I wanted to get something up I could do walk around, because my legs and my back will ache quite a lot, and I suffer with restless legs a lot in the evening, so I try and get up and walk around as much as possible, because in my job I'm used to being on my feet all day, every day. Which I am not now. I've just noticed while listening to myself talking here, I seem to say an awful lot I'm going to have to try and stop that. This is in a little project bag I made quite a long time ago. I keep saying it again. With some fabric that I got at a quilting show at Harrogate last year. I thought it was really cute. And there's some on with a bit of yarn bombing on it as well, but I'd forgotten I've got it. I need to dig that back out because I've still got a bit left. So that's just a little one that I made for myself some time ago. So that's my little canary. Put them away. I have also been putting a bit of time on my V-neck box set. On the last podcast, I was re-wearing the first one that I did where I've re-knitted the V-neck so it sits lower. This is the other one that I'm making. I've made this one two-tone and I've made it a little bit longer because the other one sits, even though I've been wearing it these last few days, it sits a bit shorter than I would typically like. It sits just below the waistband of my jeans. But now I've at least done the V-neck. It sits a little bit lower than it did before. I'm just wearing a longer top under it. But this one, this is in summer of 2017 or 18. I can't remember what it was called. It was a colourway I dyed anyway, and it sat in the shop forever and ever. So I decided to use it up myself. I wouldn't normally go for these. I wouldn't normally go for these colours, but thought, well, I was looking for something that had enough to do a boxy, and that was what I had basically. But as I'm knitting it up, I'm really quite liking it actually. As I've knitted it up, the bottom one is Mermaid. I think I've just got it. It's just called Mermaid. Another one of my own hand dyed. That's in my shop. The shop is currently closed, but I am looking to reopen it again soon. I did close it because I'd been ill and wouldn't been able to be going to the post office if necessary. But now that seems to be well behind me. I've been alright now for about a week and a half, even though my voice keeps going, as you can hear now. But I love this colour. It's not quite, it doesn't show quite as tealy as it actually is in real life, but I fancied having it a darker down the bottom, so that it does, I don't know, disguise the large belly, middle, a bit more slimming, even though it is hugely wide. But I've just put the first sleeve on. No, I didn't realise when I started knitting it. My intention was, when I knitted the sleeve, was to knit it on a larger size needle than I did last time because they were quite tight. And I've ended up knitting it on the same needle as I did on the previous one. But I'm not pulling it back out now because this has been sitting on the needles for quite a while. So I have tried it on and it's alright. I imagine it's going to give over time. And when I wash it and block it, I can always block the sleeve out a little bit more. And I'm about halfway, maybe just under halfway down the other one. So shouldn't be too long now. I'm doing that on Magic Loop. Shouldn't be too long now before I've done that. And then there's only the neckline. I'm keen to be wearing this, so I do want to get it done, but I'd have done it by now, but I've got so many other things on the go. I keep doing a little bit of everything, so I'm gradually working my way through things, and I keep cast a couple of other things on, like I started that canary. Another thing that I've got on the go that I showed on the last YouTube video was, this is the Clayton vest by Pearl and Jane. I'm loving this. I think about where that stitch marker was last time I showed it, a bit less than where that stitch marker was actually. I think I was more like, I think I'd only done 3 of the burgundy stripes when I look back, so I think it was down 1, 2, 3. It was down, might have been down here when I showed it last time. So I've been putting quite a bit of work into this, so it's getting longer. My only fear was I started weighing the balls of yarn as I've been going along, and wasn't sure that I was going to have enough to do the whole thing. It said you needed, for my size, 300 grams. Well, I've got 4 balls. I had 4 balls of 50 grams in Eden Cottage Milburn 4-ply in the 4 colours. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I had a 100 gram ball in this speckled yarn from the Knitting Shed that I really liked. But still, I don't think I was going to have enough because I think mainly because one of the colours was, I had 100 grams as opposed to, I had 2 more colours in the Milburn, but I wasn't so sure that they went quite well, and I really liked this one. So as you can see, I'm not up the front yet, plus I wanted to do it a little bit longer in the picture. I've not finished the front yet, and I've not got a huge lot left of this one. When I weighed it, I'd already used more than half the ball of this one. These ones aren't so bad, but I'd done the rib at the bottom in this one as well. So I think I've got about another, to do it to the pattern, I've got about another 10 centimetres left to go. Because basically to get up to the shoulders, and then it's only about 3 or 4 rows, shape the shoulders, to cast off. So just to be on the safe side, I know I've got plenty of the speckled one. I ordered some more, which thankfully came today, and I thought, well, if I've got plenty of this left, I can use it to do a bit of a shawl. So thank you to Eden Cottage Yarns. They got them to me pretty quick. So now I know I've definitely got enough. Those 4 balls, I could now knit. I can knit that as long as I want until these, if these run out. It doesn't matter if these run out because I know I've got others. It will make it quite an extremely expensive top, because I think for the 4 balls it's cost 6, 7, about £35 for the 4 balls, because it is silk. Where are we? 85% blue face laster, 15% silk, and they're about, I think they were about £7 a ball. Yeah, 28, no, £28, and then a couple of quid postage, it must have been. Something like that. I know they were expensive anyway, but no more expensive than your other hand-dyed yarns. So by the time I've finished, it'll probably have cost me about, best part of £60 to £70 to knit this. So I better treat it right, but it's going to feel so nice. And this is the kind of, like this t-shirt I've got on under this top. It'll go nice wearing this t-shirt underneath it, I think, because it's sleeveless and it's got plenty of ease in it, so it should drop down here as well, even though it's got no sleeves. So that's that. Going good guns with that. That's great TV viewing, that. That's my jam and cream scone from Copo UK. Progress Keeper there. Progress Keeper, not Creeper, Progress Keeper. So that's that project, and that's in my, I'm not sure if this is a moose or a reindeer with its baby, drawstring bag that I made myself a while ago. That's a slightly bigger one. And then I cast on, because I can, cast on some more socks. I've had this yarn sitting in my stash for quite some time. When I was looking for some male colours, I was at Abercan in Manchester one weekend, and I can't find the label. It's not in there. I usually shove them in the middle. I was in Abercan because they have a good knitting department as well as the material and all the haberdashery. And I got this. This was King Cole Zigzag 4-ply sock yarn. Even though I'm liking how this is coming out, I don't know that I'd knit with it again. So this time, to make sure that I do both. Excuse me, let me just have a quick drink. Oh, made myself a fancy coffee. All the cream's sunk in. This is, oh, I'm getting a bit tangled up here. I'm doing magic loop, not my favourite method, as if you've watched me before you will know. But that's what I've got. I've quite a few circular needles in the 2.25mm size. I fancied doing. I thought I might start doing some Christmas presents, and I'm doing these for one of my sons. I think I might send for my youngest son. It's coming out quite nice. So I'm doing a few rows on one, then doing the same amount of rows on the other one to try and keep them up to speed. That one is a bit longer because I was doing that while I was watching The Stranger, the last episode of The Stranger this morning. And I'm loving the look of how it's coming out. It's a nice even tension, and I'll love the colour. I think it looks really nice. My only problem with it is it seems very splitty. It splits a fair bit. A couple of times I've had to go back and run a stitch down to pick it back up when I've noticed there's one split a bit further down, so you've only got a very fine bit knit, and if you leave it like that, it'll obviously, that bit will break and you'll end up with a hole. So I've had to do that a few times. I seem to be splitting the yarn, which I don't like, but I'm liking how they're coming about, and like I say, I'm doing them concurrently so that hopefully I'll get them finished. And I started them a couple of nights ago, so it's not going too bad. And hopefully I'll get them finished quicker and at the same time, and then I can put them away. I've never knitted for Christmas. I've never knitted either of my sons' socks before. I don't know whether they'd appreciate them or not, or whether they'd just wear them till they walk to the washing on their own, because neither of them live at home anymore. But I thought I'll do them for my youngest son first. And then if I feel so inclined, I might do some more for my eldest son. Something that they can use, like I said, because I don't really knit for them, because when they were here, they were both, typical teenage boys and weren't very knit worthy. But they're a bit older now and both got their own, living on their own. Well, one's living with his fiancée. So that was those. Anyway, that's all the knitting I've been doing in the past few days. I've done a bit of sewing as well. I'm really pleased with this. I needed a large knitting bag. Now I've got other bags that other people have made me or I've bought, but I wanted to make one of my own, and I've had this woody fabric for a while. I love anything Toy Story, so I thought I'll have a go at making my own large project bag. And rather than doing, I originally set out to do it as a large drawstring. I was going to make it as a large drawstring bag. So I basically scaled up my usual drawstring bags that like I've got behind me, and that's what I was going to do. And then as I got on a bit with it, I thought, no, I think I'm going to make it into I'm going to use poppers, because quite a few times I've thought about putting poppers at the top of my project bags instead of a zip. Because I don't know about you, but I find sometimes when I have a zip on my project bag, I've on more than several occasions, I've caught my wool in the zip. But I don't always want a drawstring. I like the shape of a zippered bag. So this one I thought, well, I'll have a go. I'll turn it into a poppered bag instead. I've also put a pocket on the back, so to put whatever I need to put in it, progress keepers, tape measure, and all that. But I needed a large one for my cable cardigan. So there we go. 4 poppers on the top. I put stars. I used a fancy stitch, which is stars, for my top stitching instead of just a straight line, because obviously Woody has got his sheriff's badge, which is a star. Did them down there as well, if you can see that. And when I'd finished, obviously it looks like I put handles on it as well to make it easy to carry, and it was only when I'd done it I thought, I've just made a giant tote bag. Made a big tote bag. So when it's done as a knitting bag, it's going to double as I can use it as a big shopping bag as well, because it's huge. I've not put any pockets or anything inside, and I lined it, even though the outside's 100% quilting cotton, which I'm really pleased with. I lined it with, I didn't have anything a go. I wanted to keep the cost down a little bit, but I had some teal polycotton, which is very similar to the colour of his trousers on the picture. So I used that on the inside. But if I was to make it again as an actual tote bag, as a big bag, I'd probably put a couple of pockets inside, and a hook for your keys, maybe a phone pocket or something like that. But I'm really pleased with that. So I might make a couple more of those in the future to put in the shop, because it makes a brilliant large bag. I'll show you what I've got in it. This is the cable knitting that I've showed a few times. It's got, shows you how much fits in here. That's a sleeve, and then that's the back. So as well as all that, there's all the balls of yarn I've got in the bottom, because I just didn't have a bag big enough for all those, and I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I think I've got 10. Still got 10 balls, 50-gram balls of Aran in the bottom of there. So there you go. So I was really pleased with that, and it's totally unique because nobody else has got a woody bag like that. But it would look fabulous in some of the Tula pink. It would look fabulous in some of the Tula pink fabrics, so and then the others with some of the big floral prints on. So I made that the other day. I was made up with that, and then today I've been making, yesterday and today, I've just been doing them in short spells. I made all the drawstring bags yesterday, and then the little notions pouches to put with them. I'm doing these as a set this time. Made all these little drawstring bags today, and I've put faux leather on the bottom. I thought that would be a good idea, because if you're sitting out in the garden knitting, it'd be more wipe clean if it goes on the floor. Plus it just goes without fabric really nice. I really like this. It's peonies, this fabric. This is a bit of a canvassy one, the lightweight canvas at the top, and I've just put one pocket on the inside. There we go. That's just drawstring, and then I've done little notions pouches. I was going to do these with little boxed corners as well, but I quite like myself the little flat sacks, because if you don't hang it on the front, they fit into pockets nice if you want it for a few coins and a couple of notes or something, and your credit card, because you could take that out, hook it on your belt, and just put your credit card and a few coins in it, or whatever you take out with you. You could hook your keys on it if you wanted to. I think all I've got left to do is I've just got to seal the little, this one I've done on the machine. But after doing that one on the machine, I thought I'm going to do the other ones. I think sew the hole in them by hand. So I've done 2 of those, and I've done 2 sheepy ones, because I love these knitting sheep. It's quite appropriate, I thought. So they're the right size for knitting a pair of socks or a hat, or even you could probably do even a lightweight shawl. I fitted, to take the photographs of them, I fitted 3 100-gram skeins of Aran in there to fill it out. Fitted in quite comfortably to photograph them. But yeah, you've got little knitting sheep. I think this fabric's Timeless Treasures, I think it's called, by the company Timeless Treasures, and the sheep are knitting on it, which I thought was quite good. That one's knitting a jumper actually on the sheep. And then again I've done the little flat sacks to go with those. I'm thinking about making little DPN cases, little DPN double pointed needle cases, protectors, to maybe put in the set matching as well. So I've done 2 of those. I've actually done 3 of those, but the third one was the first one I made, and I wasn't as thrilled with the colour combination with that one as those 2. I wasn't so keen on the grey, so this one might just have to stay here, or knowing all my prototypes will probably end up at my mother's house. So I think that's all I've been doing lately. I know Nicola's been sewing for the boys. She's made them both t-shirts and pyjama trousers, I think, and big wide-brimmed floppy hats for them playing in the garden. So she's been quite busy. Maybe I'll speak to her and see if I can get her to upload a little video as well, so you can see what she's been up to the last few days. So that's all I've got for now. So everyone stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.